So, if you're a senior in high school, something you're expected to do besides decide your entire future is to pick out a quote for the yearbook. This quote is supposed to define your entire time in high school with a few words that represent your personality, your hopes and dreams, and everything that you are. Unless your school doesn't do yearbook quotes, in which case, this video won't really help you. But to those of you who are looking for a quote, congratulations! This is literally the most important part of high school. If your quote isn't good, then your accomplishments in high school are no longer valid. No, I'm kidding, but yearbook quotes can be hard to find sometimes, so I'm here to give you a step-by-step process on how to choose the best yearbook quote. Step 1. Choose your quote days or even weeks in advance. Okay, so now that you didn't follow step 1, it is now the day the quote is due. What now? Well, in my experience, there are generally two ways to go with a quote, funny or pretentious. Not to say that a pretentious quote is bad, because it's not. This quote is meant to be an impression of your high school time, and if you feel like a pretentious quote about future exploration or something works, then it does. There are tons of great people to choose from for a serious quote. I would suggest philosophers, painters, authors, Jaden Smith, or just something deep. But what about funny? Well, if you're like me and spend the day the quotes were due frantically scouring Google for funny quotes that in any way relate to the situation, then you know that it may be hard to find a funny quote that resembles you unless you make one up yourself. Maybe choose a funny quote from a movie or a TV show or a book. When you choose a quote, it should mean something to you, whether you like the person saying the quote or the quote itself. For example, Joss Whedon created Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which is a pretty nostalgic show for me. But when I looked at all his quotes, none of them related to what I was trying to say. He just talked about film a lot, and I like film, but not really helpful. Thanks, Joss. Another thing you should think about when choosing a quote is timing. Normally quotes are chosen near the beginning of the year, and yearbooks are always giving out the end. So, I wouldn't suggest using a meme, because it will definitely be dead by the time the yearbook comes out, unless you're trying to be ironic. The memes that are popular while I'm writing the script will probably be dead by the time I get the video out, and then another meme will have come out, and that one will be dead too. Anyway, I'm just saying that you might want to choose something that is relatively timeless to you. If it means something to you, or you just think it's funny, then use it. It's your quote, so above all, make sure that you like it. So, there you go. I have no idea why I had so much in my mind about yearbook quotes. I think all of this was just kind of running through my head while I was desperately trying to find one, and I did in the end. Maybe because I reread the Harry Potter series and there are a lot of great quotes in there, and I didn't use one of them. Oh well. Honestly, the yearbook quote doesn't really matter. You can leave it blank if you want. If you're like me, then you might hype up the importance of small things like this, but really what's important is the fact that you're graduating and moving on into your future, so don't worry too much about it. But hey, what do I know? I chose a quote about not worrying too much, and clearly, I've overthought way too much about this. Oh, and by the way, please excuse the terrible artwork. I'm not much of an artist, but I'm just starting out, and it's pretty hard to work on Microsoft Paint with a mouse and attempt to make straight lines. Anyway, thanks for watching.